all of the ballistic from the drive-by are all coming from the passenger side in towards the driver's side. And then from the rear of the vehicle, forwards towards the front. The fatal wounds for Christopher Thomas and Anthony Williams are coming from inside the vehicle, from the rear driver's side passenger going out towards the passenger side. The drive-by was staged at 4:02 a.m. The victims were already dead. The medical examiner will be able to testify and tell you that the fatal shots to Anthony Williams, to his head, that enters in the back of his head and exits at the top, blowing out the front passenger window, was fatal. And that the additional wounds that are consistent with the trajectories going through the vehicle, he's already dead. That Christopher Thomas was shot in his left cheek. That was the fatal shot for him. Law enforcement is going through that Jeep. They find one spent shell casing for a .40 caliber firearm. Why is that important? That shows a gun was fired inside of that car. Inside of that car. At once the location of US 27 and Pembroke Road was discovered, law enforcement goes out to that area as well. And there they locate an additional 8 shell casings. That location is where the cell phones of Christopher Thomas, Anthony Williams, and Jamel Demons all line up at 4:02 a.m. That Jamel Demons, on the side of the road, made a FaceTime video chat. At that point, he starts setting up the story. He FaceTimes his girlfriend at the time, Mariah Hamilton. Mariah Hamilton gets the phone call and screams, waking up her mother, Felicia Holmes. Felicia Holmes also sees the defendant, Jamel Demons, on that FaceTime video call. Right after this, yo homie, you good? Let me know something. Individuals reaching out, asking if Mr. Demons is good after he's been tagged in multiple social media posts about this drive-through, this shooting. And Mr. Demons responds very succinctly, I did that. Shh. Ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of the evidence, the state is confident that you will find the defendant guilty as charged of the first-degree murder of Christopher Thomas and Anthony Williams. Thank you.
For the defense, when it came time for their opening statement, they claim Melly had no reason to shoot his friends.
A young man to wake up one day and decide that he's going to kill 2 of his best friends. Best friends that he grew up with, best friends that he hangs out with, best friends who he lives with, best friends whose careers he was trying to launch alongside his own. Mr. Demons was a rising star. And from that point on, he decided he's the only person that could have committed this crime. Cortland Henry.
This is the reason why I want them to be on trial together, because Melly defense are trying to say that Cortland was the shooter.
Opening statement by describing some of the lies that he told, as though to impute them to Mr. Demons. Those were not Mr. Demons' lies, those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. And you don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with 2 dead bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, gunpowder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry. There were 3 phones in that car. There were 3 people in that car.
Geico lizard-looking ass boy.
With no murder weapon or eyewitnesses to the double murders, prosecutors called on a crime scene reconstruction expert to piece together the clues.
In line with the backseat driver passenger.
Who was sitting in that seat at the time of this homicide?
That would be Mr. Demins.
Okay. Who was sitting in that seat at the time of this homicide?
That would be Mr. Demins.
Okay. Say the length of time between the fatal shots and then the staged drive-by shots later on.
It was enough time for the heart to stop beating.
According to the state, Melly confessed to the murders to Sack Chaser and Juvie in a shocking text message.
His response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji. After that, SHHHH.
Melly chose not to testify in his first trial, and as his defense team claims he couldn't have been the shooter because he didn't learn of the murders until hours after it happened, they called his friend Adrian Davis to the stand.
Did there come a time in the early morning hours that you were woken up and heard some distressing news?
Yes.
What did you hear?
The second Julie was shot.
When you heard that, did you see Melly in the house?
Yes.
Did you see Melly how he was dressed in the house?
Yes.
What was he wearing?
Shorts and a t-shirt, I think.
Okay. Upon hearing that Sack and Juvie, and I really should use the correct names, Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas, were shot. What did you guys do?
We were already dressed and stuff, so we just left with Fredo's house.
Was anybody upset or crying?
Yeah, we all were crying.
Was this young man crying?
Yes.
After 3 days of deliberations, the Florida jury couldn't come to a verdict.
You're still unable to reach a unanimous decision. So at this time, what I'm going to do is just declare mistrial because it's mistrial.
Melly was hit with a new charge in his case. The state filed a new charge of witness tampering against the Florida rapper. Prosecutors were set to depose Breonna Hamilton, the ex-girlfriend of Cortland Henry, but Hamilton didn't show up the day of her scheduled deposition. The state says Melly told Bortland to keep Hamilton away from court. Y&W Melly was due back in court in December for a pretrial meeting in the witness tampering case, and both parties agreed to a hearing to respond to all pending motions on January 6th and 7th.